Welcome CNG 132 online to week 2, where we'll be covering chapter 3, basic cryptography. A few side notes. We'll take some house cleaning first. Make sure that if you are still on week 1, you do kind of finish up the projects that were in week 1. Hopefully you finished up project 1. Hopefully you are either done with project 2 or finishing up project 2. Make sure that this week you get that in. Don't want you falling too far behind. As I mentioned before, we have the 15-week course condensed to a 10-week course, and with that, still all the same work, just in the shorter course. Let's see. Today's the last day to pay, so make sure you get that payment in. If you can see that on the main menu here, when you sign in, time's running out. Tuition payment deadline is today. So make sure you have your payment in. I will start grading today. I'll probably get finished today because there's only, I believe there's 14 of us. So I'll get that probably graded later this afternoon when I get out of class this morning. Starting with chapter 3, we learned some the definition of cryptography, a real short history of what it was, how it was used in earlier Roman days, basically how it started with writing messages and simply just switching the letters around, which has then advanced. Now cryptography has to do with hash algorithms, some of which were made MD5, which it was made, it was secure, but as time moved on, it was crackable. If you look on the internet, a simple Google search will turn out places that have MD5 hashes, and if you have a hash plugged into this website, it'll basically crack the hash. I'll probably post a video, let's say Saturday, once I find a good hash, a good site that has a hash. I probably can crack my hash. I'll just post a video there Saturday of that. Let's see, we also covered in this chapter is describing hash, symmetric, asymmetric cryptic algorithms. The symmetric algorithm is basically using the same key to unencrypt any messages sent to a person or a place. Not the most secure, since you're always using the same key to encrypt and decrypt. Asymmetric is basically, this idea takes a little bit more to wrap around. It is using two sets of key, a public key and a private key. With that public key, anybody can encrypt a message for you, but then when you receive the message, you decrypt that with your private key, and then vice versa. If you were going to send a message to somebody else, you would encrypt it with your private key. I guess there's two ways to do it. You can encrypt it with your private key, send it to that person, and then they can decrypt it with your public key, or you simply use their public key and they use their private key. So no matter what the scenario is, you're using one person's public or private key, depending on what kind of algorithm is being, or I should say, what kind of scenario is being used. A lot of people ask, where do I see this? Where does it happen? Basically, it happens on the network admin side. So the user probably never sees it. They just have a key associated with them, and then their public key is stored on the server, as long as their private key is usually associated with their login. So wherever they log in, they always have their public or their private key. The server on their public key is usually everywhere else. But the average user will never see these keys. They're just on the network admin side. Explain the different type of cryptographic attacks, also covered in this chapter. This various ways cryptography is used. So with this one, we look at stenography, hiding an image within or hiding a message within an image. With the projects that you do this week, you'll actually practice that. Make sure you take the time, slow down, and read the instructions carefully, because there is some errors on one of the projects, especially the stenography one. Slow down. I think the error is actually it's when you save the image, and then when you try to retrieve it. So just be aware of that. Pay attention, close attention there. that is a great way to hide a message stenography, because the image itself does not change. There's so much extra information that's the picture has that the message itself doesn't even affect the picture itself. I believe that's it for the kickoff video. Once again, short, about 5 minutes long. Like I said, I usually try to keep them about 5 minutes long. Make sure you're doing your work still. Keep working ahead. If you are um, lost, make sure you join the Google Hangouts page. I'm in there most of the time, checking on it. It's on my phone, so I keep looking at it. What else? The 20th, let me check the calendar. The weekend of the 22nd through the 25th, I'll be on vacation. I'll do my best, but usually the hotel internet Wi-Fi is pretty bad. Probably won't be any videos, probably just be some postings. Make sure you are aware that I'll be gone that weekend. Definitely try to step up the team, the community help during that weekend. Like I said, I'll do my best, but I'll probably be in a place that has bad internet. I tried to work from a hotel before and it didn't work out so well. I usually just use my LTE for internet videos and it worked okay. So just be aware of that. So in 2 weeks away, I'll go on vacation. Make sure you wrap up chapter 3, or make sure you wrap up chapter 2 when you're starting on chapter 3. Get those turned in too. I believe that's it. Have a good week.